guys. Premier League football is back. Let's talk about it. Back. International break is officially done. The Premier League is back, and we've got a big six debate today. Thank you everyone much for joining us. Don't forget to go and smash that like button straight away, subscribe, and we'll be putting everyone's links into all channels and Twitters and social medias throughout the show. So make sure you follow these guys. We've got some debutants on the show today. We've got one coming back from injury as well. Don, Jay, debuts on the show. How you doing, guys?
Good, man. Love for having me on.
Appreciate it. It's good. I mean, we're top of the league, so you know these kind of shows are always a pleasure when you're top. When you're top of the league, these shows are a joy. Bring me on all the time when we're top of the league. It's when you lose at home to Luton. That's when you can't find me. Do you know what I mean? That's when I gotta go. So no, it's all good.
That's when you disappear. Jay, back from injury.
Big up the chat.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay, my man, back from injury. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm like Thiago, man. You know, when I'm here, it's special, but otherwise, not really here that much. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm joking. Now, all jokes aside, man. Big up everyone on the panel. Big up Don.
So
yeah,
on the Thiago front, I actually don't know if he exists right now. I've seen one photo all season, Thiago, and that was in coming to training in skinny jeans and a top, and that was it. I haven't seen him since. I think he's a hologram.
That's the problem.
Before we kick off, because we're just waiting for Lee to come in, so I want to kick off with Chelsea Arsenal. It's a big game coming up. So
that's a big game.
We're waiting for Lee to come in, and but before we talk about that, have you just guys heard about the Real Madrid Barcelona? Well, apparently he's been done. Let me just get it here.
Briefly, so he's getting done for bribery, is it?
Yeah.
Who?
Laporta.
Laporta.
Oh, okay.
I've got it here. So Sky put it out. Breaking: Barcelona president Joan Laporta is being investigated for suspected bribery by Spanish prosecutors.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem. It's like Lance Armstrong. It's like if you rob the bank, go home with your winnings, right? Do not come back to the scene of the crime, and then they find out that you were always a cheat and a liar. Like it's just this victory lap of criminals that really needs to be.
It's madness. It's madness what's happening. And then you got Tonali with Newcastle. Scandals. Now,
mad situation.
At first it was like he didn't bet on football, and that's why he weren't getting the suspension. Like
no. That's what the Newcastle fans wanted us to think. Like, do you know what I mean? They were pushing that narrative. I never heard from Italy that he never bet on football. I heard the Newcastle fans say, "Hey, he didn't bet on football. It's all good."
Well, they're desperate, man. I don't blame them. Let's talk about that first, Don. So, if Tonali gets a long ban, do you think that's going to affect Newcastle this season?
To be honest, yeah, I mean he's their starter, isn't he? He starts week in, week out for them. He's an important player. Who would actually come in for him?
I don't know.
Longstaff.
Personally,
Wow.
I'm not thinking it's that. It's bad, but it's not like because they've got Willock, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Bruno, and I think they got that young. I think it's Anderson guy or whatever. So
Yeah, but is Willock fit right now? I haven't really been
I'm not
following
sure.
Newcastle.
I feel like they've got just about. They got a buy in January. They got to bring someone in, but I think they've like if it was like if this had happened to like Trippier or like then I'd be like, oh my god, they're in trouble. But like in that bully ball midfield that they play, where it's just press, run, press, run, press, run, they're not going to feel it as much as a certain other player. So obviously an impact, but kind of like they got top 4 without him last season. So from that viewpoint, I look at it like they're capable again of pushing hard for it until January, and they probably need a replacement. But that will also open it up because Newcastle, for me, they lack a playmaker in the middle. So now, what if they go out and they buy a different kind of midfielder to bring in? Rather than going for a like-to-like, they bring in a more creative type midfielder. They go to, say, Arsenal and drop 40 million, 45 million and say, will you sell us Smith Rowe?
They do want him as well, but he's going to be a big miss though, because this is a guy that's got Champions League experience, and obviously Newcastle are now back in the Champions League. If he does get banned, that's a big miss, man, because you can't buy Champions League experience. You either have it or you don't. So it'll be a shame, innit, if they end up losing out, because it's a shame. It's a shame it's a shame for Newcastle. They obviously didn't sign him knowing that he's done what he's done.
But obviously, as a Chelsea fan, it's good news for you, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, but we're talking about Newcastle right now. We're talking about Newcastle right now, innit? So it'll be a shame for them. It'll be a shame for them, especially in the Champions League, man. I think it'll be a big miss, but I guess they've got options there. I don't know what's going on with Willock right now. Is he back? Like, is he back fit? I haven't really been following Newcastle closely.
I'm not sure what like. I need to check because Newcastle are a team that kind of. I pretend they don't worry me, but they kind of worry me sometimes. So I need to keep an eye on. I need to keep a closer eye on what they're doing. But no,
I've got the injury list right here, right? So let me have a quick look at it. So Joe Willock is actually on the injury list, right? So Willock is out. It's just loading here. Okay, so currently being assessed. He's had a setback, so he might be missing another 6 weeks. This was potentially returned 21st of October. Okay, so he might be back soon.
Okay.
He might be back soon. So I don't know what's going on there.
But also as well, like everyone's forgetting Paqueta as well, because he's got a case looming too. Now he's being investigated at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't really see when it comes to these things that like, especially for like Newcastle, I feel like it will be a blow. But I kind of hear what Jay's saying. I feel like they'll kind of be able to just. I feel like you're right, Jay. Like if it was Trippier or someone like that, then I feel like they'd be more worried in that kind of position because they don't have another right back to just kind of who can just slot in and who can put similar type of performances. I'm not saying what Don's saying is correct though. To have that Champions League experience, they have no one else in that squad who has that, and he brings that to the team. But I just feel like they'll be the type of team, I don't know, where they'll just kind of mull along. I don't feel like the results are going to change too drastically. But again, I don't know how long is he. Like, I don't know how long is the ban. Is it going to be for a year? Like, I have zero idea. So I guess it all depends on that. And as you said, they got January to maybe try and pattern it up until then kind of thing. And then, as you said, they got top 4 without him. So will they miss him? Yes. But will it be that much of an impact? I for some reason, I just don't think it's not Bruno. Bruno, impact, big impact in that midfield. But Tonali, and I think Tonali's a good player. I just don't see it as like the type of player that he is. It's not going to be, oh my goodness, Tonali's out. Like
even Isak, like if Isak was out, I'd be like, they've got Wilson. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be like, but like the Brunos, the Trippiers, even you can argue someone like Botman is like when these guys are missing, it's a big miss for them. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
All right, let's get it started. Then let's talk about the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. By the way, is there not? There's one game Sunday and there's all these games Saturday. It makes absolutely no sense. But
Who's the game Sunday?
the Sunday game is Aston Villa West Ham.
Not
Looks
bad.
like I'm going out that day.
It's like, I don't
No joking, no joking.
But yeah, this is a big game. Your Chelsea boys at home against Arsenal picked up a little bit of form. I've said it for a while. I've actually think Chelsea have played okay this season, but it's not like they're playing awful football. It's that they create a lot of chances, but they don't put the ball in the back of the net enough. But the last couple of games you have been doing that. How are you feeling going into this game?
Yeah, I'm silently optimistic, to be honest, because a lot of the changes that I wanted Poch to be making in terms of personnel, playing certain man, starting certain man like Cole Palmer, dropping Gallagher from the pivot and moving him further up. He's doing these little tweaks and it's actually helping the team now. Do you know what I'm saying? At the start of the season, we were keeping the ball a lot, but we weren't doing much with it, and the chances that we were creating, they weren't the greatest chances. I know on paper, the XG was high, but if you actually watch the games, bro, a lot of it was cutbacks and scraps. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't consider them as good chances. And we're seeing right now Haaland struggling because City aren't creating good chances for him. Yeah. But now that we've actually got a link in midfield with a Cole Palmer and Gallagher pressing further up from the front, you're seeing, players like Jackson getting better chances created for them. It's no surprise now that Jackson's scored 3 goals. He scored 2 against Brighton. One was disallowed because he didn't go to VAR. There's no VAR there, but he was literally onside. That was assisted by Cole Palmer there twice. He scored against Burnley as well. Again, another assist from Cole Palmer. And if you look at the type of chances he's creating for him, he's literally plating him up. And this is what I was asking for at the beginning. I was asking for Poch to, trust certain personnel in this team that have more quality. And again, for the players to start to take more responsibility in front of goal. So, now I'm actually seeing us attacking with a lot more intent. We've dropped this Ben Chilwell experiment at left wing. Obviously he's injured right now, so we had to drop that. Gallagher, again, in the pivot wasn't working. He's been pushed further up. I don't rate him, to be fair. I think there's a lot more players with a lot more quality in this team. But the past 3 games on the ball, he has improved a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? If he carries on playing like that, I'm not going to have any complaints, because in that final third, statistically, he's actually won the ball back the most times from the midfield. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually a pest off the ball and he's been improving on the ball as well. So for me, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a tight game. I think this game is going to be won or lost in attack because I think in midfield, we've both got a good midfield. Obviously, if they start Havertz, then I think we're going to boss them in that midfield, to be fair. And at the back, we're both defending quite well. I think this game is going to be won on who takes their chances. You know what I'm saying? I think right now we're actually creating more chances than Arsenal, in all honesty. And our build-up, when I watch our games, I think we're building up better than them right now. I think they've got a solid squad and they've got a squad that know each other because they've been playing over a year. But I'm seeing a lot of chemistry being built now with our squad, So I definitely feel a lot more confident now than what I did at the start of the season. Me and Jay were jumping on streams with I jumped in the stream with Vigal before, and I'm sure Jay, this is a different tone that you're hearing now in comparison to what you heard before. You know what I'm saying? So
I would just say, my thing is that Chelsea don't convince me. They're unconvincing to me, and what I mean by that is what I'm seeing from Chelsea is exactly what I thought I would see before the season started. Not really seeing patterns, not really seeing. They're creating chances through the sheer quality of player they've got.
Jay, can I ask you a question, Jay, before you go any further?
Go.
How many 90-minute games have you watched of us this season? And be honest.
I've watched a lot. I've actually watched a lot of your 90-minute games. I watched the Liverpool game. I watched the West Ham game. I watched the Fulham game. I watched the Nottingham Forest game. Basically, every game that you've played that Spurs hasn't been on at the same time. And
you've watched
more or less, yeah, as in because you've had pretty good games, good. And also, I hate watching Chelsea because when Chelsea are in a bad moment, they're capable of doing a stupidity, and I need to be there, front row seat, to observe the stupidity, the nonsense in person. So,
the examples that you've given, you've given an example of Fulham where Poch has made a lot of changes. Other examples.
No, that's not the examples I want. I can give you the examples I want to use.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
For example, Brighton. So Brighton in the League Cup, in the first half, you guys were disgraceful. Yeah, could have been 2-3 down. And for me, I've looked at the matchups that Chelsea have had, looked at some of the games. Okay, you beat Fulham. That was a decent win. But I thought Fulham were terrible that game. But I thought you played well. You beat Brighton in the cup. Brighton should have been out of sight at halftime. But you came back and won the game, and your second half performance was good. What's your other win, Ben?
Burnley.
1-0 down, ridiculous own goal to get you back in the game. You came back, played well. But so those are the 3 games basically. You've played well for me about let's say two. You played 2 games worth of quality across the 3 games. Yeah, but you played not amazing teams. Like Brighton are a good team, but they rotated. Like, I don't want to be disingenuous to Chelsea, but this Arsenal team, their press, this is what I want to see Chelsea's build up against, because you struggled against Brighton when you were building up in the first half. And I'm saying that this is the best team that you'll play this season in terms of their press, in my opinion. I think Arsenal's press is excellent. So you've also got to try and progress the ball through the midfield, and you got to beat their press.
Statistically, our build-up is actually above Arsenal's this season. If you go check the stats, our build-up is actually better than Arsenal's this season. This is why I'm hearing what you're saying. That's not what. That's not
what I said.
Eyes and my stats are saying something else.
But this is what I'm trying to say. That's not what I said. What I said is Arsenal have an excellent press. Yeah, you're saying how good your build-up is. I'm saying I'll let you land. I'm saying you haven't played an Arsenal press. Yeah, Spurs build up very well, and Arsenal suffocated us. Arsenal big game setting, pressing your defenders. Let's see whether Dizazi is going to cough the ball up. Let's see if Kukurea is going to cough the ball up. Let's see if Colwell is going to cough the ball up. Because against Liverpool in the first 45 minutes, you also struggled in that game until the Salah disallowed goal.
It wasn't 45 minutes. It was about 20 minutes.
Okay, 30, 35. This is my point, as in, like, the wins that you've had now are giving you a lot of confidence as to what's coming. I'm saying, from my point of view, looking at Chelsea and what Chelsea have done, yeah, this Arsenal game is a horrible matchup for them. Like, and it's a worse matchup than people think, because in my opinion, I'm not as convinced of your build-up play as you are. I'm not as convinced as your ability to beat Arsenal's press as you are. So to me, this is going to be...
Who in our team can't build up? You tell me the names of players that can't build up in this
before we get to that, let me get the G.
That's a wild take, I'll be real.
I want to hear G's thought on this Arsenal-Chelsea game. G, so these are the injuries Chelsea have had this season. I think might actually still be out. It's a big upside line putting this up.
It's a lot of players.
There's a lot of players there. Quite a lot of them probably would be their first choice players. Ben Chilwell and Cuckoo, Wesley Fofana, Reece James definitely. Where do you see this game won and lost? What do you feel of, like, because we'll speak about Arsenal a bit. Well, what do you feel about Chelsea this season? Because, as I say, I don't think they played terribly. I can see what Pochettino's trying to do. Is Chelsea one of these teams that are only going to get better through the season? What's your reckoning, man?
Listen, I like Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the who's typical football manager players. If I had a team, I'd probably choose Chelsea because they've got some of the best young players out there, players who are up and coming and stuff like that. And they have a lot of them, kind of things. So if you're looking to build a team for the next 10 years or whatever, that's probably the type of team that you would, you kind of look at, dotted around with quality in players like your Enzos, Reece James and people of that kind of ilk. And when I look at Chelsea, I just think results-wise, it will look bad. Obviously, you look at where they are in the table and stuff like that. But when I watch them and when I think about it, I'm like, it's not even that deep. Like, I kind of expected them to be in this kind of space, at least. At the end of the day, they're not conceding masses of goals, in this season. They've kept quite a few, clean sheets this season. And I feel like they're a team, again, look at the players that they have. Look at the players that, first of all, that they've got injured, that list. If anybody else had that list, we'd all crumble. We'd literally all crumble. Like, there's no way Liverpool could have that list, because we saw what happened last year with less players out at one time. We saw what happened last season. If Arsenal had that list, they'll be playing these under 16s and that. Like it would all be kind of crazy. So I think when I look at Chelsea,
we've seen it with City already. City losing Rodri, they've lost 3 games.
and do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like you lose a certain amount of players, there's going to be a drop off in the overall quality, you know, of their team kind of thing. But then to be able to still pull out some of these players that they are putting on the pitch and the way that Poch is trying to get the team to play, I like Tottenham. I like Chelsea, man. I do think Chelsea have something about them that in the future it's gonna all click together. Once they get these players back into the fold, you know, your Cole Palmer's, I feel like he's playing really, really good. He was an interesting signing. I didn't really know how well. As you said, 3 assists in a row. Nicholas Jackson, I always felt he was a striker. Look, we live in a day and age where we all live and die by stats. So if he didn't come in and score 10 goals in his first 6 games, we were all going to get onto him anyway. So the fact that he's got less than that, of course, we're going to be speaking, you know, about the goals and stuff. But then if you give him the chance, he's proven that he is a player that can stick the ball, you know, in the back of the net. Moises Caicedo, whatever everyone wants to say, I know as a Liverpool fan, we're going to be salty, we're going to be upset about it. He's an absolutely fantastic player. He will come to fruition into his own. We'll see that regardless. Enzo, brilliant player. Like, they've got players in there, and I just think give them the rest of the season, or at least until January, to just kind of get themselves into that kind of mold. And I feel like they will be a problem. Now, it won't be this season, because I just think that this season's more of a, we're building, we're just trying to, Poch is just trying to implement styles, formation, all of that kind of good stuff. You've got new players in, they're starting to integrate themselves, but give them until next season, then you'll start to see it. They're not in the same space as a Liverpool or Manchester City or Arsenal, where it's like, nah, we need it today. I need it today kind of thing. And if you don't do it today, it's a failure. I feel like for them, most fans, I'll use Don as an example, they're a bit more understanding of where they're kind of at as a team. But when you're talking about this Arsenal game, I think Arsenal will win the game. I feel like Arsenal do have a bit too much for you in this type of game, just purely when you look at their attack. And I feel like the way that they can play, you know, in the pockets of spaces, the way that they can build up, as much as yours is good, I still look at Arsenal and think to myself, with that level of experience that they have got in that midfield, with that level of experience that they have got at the back, with the quality players that they've got up top, as Jay said about that press as well, I just feel, I'm not going to say they're going to wipe the floor with you. It could potentially be a closer game than we all think. I just think that Arsenal have just that bit much, and the way that Arsenal are playing this season, they don't need to blow teams away. They're coming with a bit more maturity now this season, where it's like, no, we're good with 2-0. We're good with 2-1. We're good with 1-0. I'm all right. I can take that and go home. Whereas before, we were looking for Arsenal to try and, they got to win 3-1 or 5-3 or so. You know, it's got to be one of those type of things. But now, I feel they got the level of maturity.
Well, a little crumb for Dom to go at you. Pochettino has never lost a Premier League home game against Arsenal.
Sure.
Yeah, records are there to be broken. No, I'm joking. No, it's true.
He needs to maintain that record, because our record against Arsenal past 7 games at the Bridge has been terrible. But just to go back to what Jay was saying, I fully get what you're saying, and I understand that, because listen, Arsenal, they're obviously 4 years deep into their process, or their phase, however you want to call it, right? I get all of that, but I'll be real with you guys. I've watched every single Arsenal game this season, right? Their best performance in the league this year has been against Bournemouth, and we should all be battering Bournemouth, we drew against them, and we had about 1 million. Let me land, bro. Because we had 1,000,001 chances. If, for example, Liverpool had the chances that we had against Bournemouth in the first 10-15 minutes, you guys would have been 3-4 goals up. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we know that Chelsea have a problem in front of goal, right? And creating, again, clear-cut chances. But let me go back to the point that Jay was making about the build-up and Arsenal's press. I think obviously Arsenal do press well, but I think you're underplaying how good our players are on the ball, and especially in the build-up. Do you know what I'm saying? In terms of beating the press, because even Brighton, they were trying to press us, and we were beating that press. We've got very good. We've got good players that are. We've got ball-playing defenders. That's number one. Disasi, I don't know if you've watched him on the ball. Very good, quick on it. Do you know what I'm saying? He picks it up, he punches it straight into the midfield. Caicedo, the past 3-4 games, I'm seeing a Caicedo that you were seeing at Brighton. Him and Enzo are now in that pivot. They're comfortable picking up the ball in the build-up. Levi, he's very comfortable in the ball. Cucurella, he was terrible last season, but again, he's very comfortable in the ball. I get what you're saying, G, about experience, but bro, we've also got experience at the back. I'm saying, and quality. Cucurella's experience.
All right. So
hold on, Jay. Let me land my point, bro. Yeah. Cucurella has got experience. Disasi might not have as much Premier League experience, but bro, the guy's 26. He's got more than enough experience from playing in France. Thiago Silva, another one, Premier League experience. Levi, he's got Premier League experience from last year. So I think people are forgetting the players that we've got. We've got a lot of quality in this team, and we still have experience in this team. And right now, like I said, the way we're playing right now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not even saying this as a Chelsea fan. I'm seeing Chelsea building up better than Arsenal right now, right? Yeah. I know Arsenal have been missing key players, like a Partey, for example. Yeah. They don't know what midfield they're going to get. They're thinking that Mikel Arteta is going to go with Partey, Odegaard, and what's his name, Declan Rice in that midfield. But we don't know that for sure yet. You know what I'm saying? On paper, that's what it might look like, but we don't know if he's going to go with that midfield. And even if he does, I'm looking at our midfield now. It's not Kovacic and Jorginho in there anymore. It's now Caicedo, who's good at winning the ball back. It's now Enzo, who's very press resistant on the ball. It's now Gallagher, who loves pressing off the ball as well. So I don't think it's going to be as easy as what people are saying. Arsenal ain't going to come to the bridge and just take it to us and then just beat us and then walk out of there. I think it's going to be a tight game, and it's all going to be on who takes their chances.
All right. So
you have your son fight.
Yeah.
And if you look at Arsenal as well, bro, they've got weaknesses, man. I don't know why people think they're invincible.
No, they've definitely got weaknesses. Every team does.
Look at their flanks. Look at their flanks.
Well, Ben
White is not. Ben White is not. Just one last point, Joe. Then I'll let you land. Yeah. Ben White, as much as he's stepped into that right back position, naturally that's not his natural position. Same way Levi can be got at a left back because he's a left centre back. Is the same way you could get at Ben White. If you've seen him against Rashford, bro, he struggles. If you saw Mudryk, what Mudryk did to him at the Emirates last year, he struggled. They had to start shining lasers in his face. Do you get what I'm saying? On the right-hand side, Zinchenko, bro. On the left-hand side, Zinchenko. We know he's good at inverting, but when it comes to the defensive capabilities, he's another one that can be got. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely in that midfield. Odegaard, he's another one. He don't turn up.
I'm gonna hand off to the Arsenal correspondent in a second. Once I land my point, and then
overrating Arsenal a little bit.
No, it's not about over. Listen, I'm a Spurs fan. Yeah, I don't want to say anything nice about Arsenal. Yeah, it's against my religion, but I respect them as a team, and I respect the side that they built and what they're trying to do. Now, the thing with Chelsea is that so far this season, I've seen Chelsea play. When I've seen Chelsea play a good team, yeah, Liverpool got a 1-1 draw against 10 men. West Ham, you lost. Yeah. Aston Villa, you lost. Yeah. Forest, I don't really think are that good a team, but you lost. Yeah. So my point is that Brighton B, you won. Fulham away.
It wasn't Brighton B. Brighton literally had a strong. Brighton.
Okay,
Brighton. This is what I'm saying. Come with facts, bro. Brighton.
But the thing is,
hold on. Let me land my point.
Hold on. Let me make my point. You're speaking for the last 4 or 5 minutes.
But you're not speaking facts, though.
No, bro.
Brighton had a stronger team than the team.
Bro, listen. Okay, so listen. I'm not going to get into how many changes Brighton made from the previous
Brighton
game.
B.
Yeah. So hold on. I'm saying if Brighton make 8 changes from the previous game, then one can contend that it's Brighton B. You can debate that if all you want. I don't really care. It doesn't really make any odds to me. At the end of the day, you're 11th in the league, and you think that your performances this season merit more. I think you're exactly where you deserve to be because your players have shown incompetency in key moments. So for you to now say to me that all of a sudden your players have achieved, conscious competence, to me, I don't buy it. Yeah, I've seen too many moments already this season where your players have shown weakness in key moments and not crumbled, but like it's got to them. So Chelsea have to prove that they're capable of hanging with Arsenal. And when I mean hanging, I mean there's going to be a 20-minute period when you play Arsenal where they're going to be beating the shit out of you. Yeah, you are going to have to hold on and not concede and try and ride the wave. And I doubt if Chelsea are capable of doing that. If they do that, amazing. But at the end of the day, so far this season, they've not shown enough. They've not shown me enough for me to remotely think they're able to play against Arsenal. I've seen weakness in your play out from the back against Liverpool. I saw weakness in your play out from the back against Brighton. Both those teams are good pressers. Arsenal are another good presser. So I'm bringing a good presser to a situation where I've seen you have flaws, and I think you're going to have an issue. I think you're going to have major issues.
What you're doing, you're nitpicking moments in the game, and you're completely.
You're 11th. You're 11th. I don't need to nitpick anything. You're 11th in the league. It's not nitpick. It's grand moments.
This is what I'm talking about. Because if I tell you to go through every single loss that we've had this season,
Oh my God,
you won't be able to give, you won't be able to give me the context, bro.
Bro,
And
your copium,
I've literally,
bro. I'm not
giving you no copium, bro.
You finished
I'm not
13th
giving you no
last
copium.
season, and you're
been on
11th now. Until you are objectively good, objectively, and I mean objectively, in terms of you are winning games.
Okay, Jay. All right, Jay.
I don't need to do the copium. That's
giving you
your fan base.
All right, guys.
Fan base needs that.
This is a
I
me
don't
and
need
Lee.
to do that.
This is a me and Lee
13th and 11th. You
Okay.
need that copium.
Jay, come.
Whatever. Anyway, as I was saying,
Lee, I don't need to do that.
Okay,
so
bro.
no odds to me to do that.
Me and Lee. No one can tell me but no one can tell me about no copium nonsense when it comes to me talking football, because me and Lee talk on Never a Foul every single week, and Lee can vouch here that I've been criticizing us from week 1. Do you get it? I've been criticizing us and giving us compliments when needs be. And right now, like I've said, Poch has finally made the right personnel changes, and finally players are starting to take responsibility in the past 3-4 games. I can't ignore that. But you are right in saying that we deserve to be where we are right now. You're right, bro. Because literally, even when we beat Luton 3-0, I said we will crap that game. The only difference is we were clinical. I said we had a better game against West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? Against Liverpool, we should have won that game. But again, we were crap in front of goal. I've literally been coming on every single week on the terrace or Never a Foul, criticizing the team.
I'm not saying you're not a fair fan. What I'm saying is that you saying to me, you haven't been through every one of our losses to understand truly what went wrong.
No, because you're saying,
you know,
before you land, the reason why I have to say that is because I don't agree with this thing that you're saying about the build-up and us on the ball. Because Chelsea, bro, we are very comfortable. Okay, bro, we are very comfortable on the ball.
What I'll say is, first,
sorry. Welcome back to the channel, by the way, Luke.
Sorry for being late, man. I've had a couple of complications, but listen, I mean, the game on Saturday, I think it's very straight. I think it's just very down the line. Arsenal are a better team than Chelsea. Chelsea have played better, the analytical side of it. They've had chances. They should have beaten West Ham as well. I think people need to remember that. They should have won that game. Chelsea have looked a little bit better, but ultimately, I think the only thing where where Don's kind of missing it is he's going to back his team. He's going to back his team, and why? Rightly so. Like, he supports Chelsea. He's not been blinded necessarily, but I do think you're overrating your team a little bit. We need to remember some of the teams you played. Brighton, you look at them, they're an up and down team. So maybe on that day they just didn't have a great performance. I don't know. I didn't watch the game, so I'm not going to speak on them. But what I am going to say is logic says, I do think you need to calm down, because you are playing one of the top teams in the league right now, whether you like it or not.
Arsenal fans overrate themselves now. This is where they overrate.
And this is and again, what I'm going to say to you is, we haven't lost away from home. We've beaten, and we don't even concede away from home. And it's not just this season, it's last season. We've shown that when we go away from home, we're a very, very good team. Now, if I take your attack against our defense, am I worried? No. You're going to talk about, and what people keep doing is people keep looking at our performances and comparing it to last season, saying we're not playing well. But I keep trying to say to people, this season, what we're trying to do is we're trying to imitate what Liverpool did when they won the league. If you look what they did the season before that, and Jamie will tell you straight up, the season before they were winning 3-2s, 5-3s, high energetic games. Now, the season they won it, they were really, really condensed, really, really slow, boring, winning 2-1s, 3-1s, but the first 60 minutes, I don't know if you remember, they would blitz teams, even the first 45 minutes, and then they would just calm the game off. They would have Van Dijk, they would have Gini, they would have all of these guys working hard. Arsenal are trying to replicate that. Now, people keep thinking that we're not playing well because we're not doing what we did last season, but it's a different type of way of winning games. And if you look at our controlling games, I watch every Arsenal game, so I can tell you, we're controlling games to a different level. And I'm trying to explain to you, we haven't played our front six of Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Partey. We haven't played those six together once. So you're coming up against a different kettle of fish. And I keep thinking, I just want to keep reminding people, Chelsea played off this renaissance of a couple of games. But what do we know about Chelsea? Chelsea, we know Disasi, good player, but not amazing. Sanchez, good player.
Best defender. He's been our best defender.
Yeah, for you, but Disasi wouldn't start for any of the other top teams.
That logic is just so silly.
Wait, just calm.
He's doing his job for us.
Yeah, but my point is that you have good players for where you are at, but your players aren't better than the players for Arsenal. If you was going to do a combined 11 right now, you would be fighting to get players into your team. And what we're trying to say is we are a better team than you. We play better football than you. We control games more than you. And we can create better chances than you because we have a better team. You wouldn't take Palmer.
Have you created more chances than us this year?
Yes, but what did I say to you? We haven't played our 6. We haven't had Martinelli. We haven't had all of our.
You just said we can create more chances than us, but you clearly haven't because statistically that's saying something else. And how many players are we missing? How many players are we missing?
But my point is that you're going to keep so because what you keep doing is you're just looking at it from a Chelsea lens. Take your mind out. No, take your mind out of Chelsea. Because you're the same person that told me that you wanted Palmer to step up, Sterling to step up, and Jackson. And they haven't. Overall, they haven't. Just don't stop going off the last couple of games. Stop going off the last couple of games and believe what you're seeing. You're a team that are in 11th position right now.
So I should ignore the past 3-4 games, right? I should just ignore them.
What did I just say? What did I just say? No, what did I just say? Just believe what you're seeing. So I'm saying to you, you're a team that are in 11th position right now, and you're beating some of the bottom feeder teams. One of your better teams, or one of your better games, was the game against who was it? Who did you play? Burnley. Burnley are crap. So my point, what I'm trying to say to you is, you ain't got any pedigree to be like, yeah, you're this amazing team. Right now, you do, and I'm sorry, but yeah. So no one's gonna like think, oh, it's crazy to say Arsenal should beat you. We should wipe the floor with you. We should beat you. We should wipe the floor with you because
why should you wipe the floor of us though? Where's you explain why right now you're gonna why you should wipe the floor of Chelsea right now? Because you're not creating more chances than us. Defensively, we've literally conceded one less goal than you. No. We've got the second best defensive record in the league. I am listening to what you're saying, but you're making wild statements. You're saying you should wipe the floor with us. But why should you wipe the floor with us? You tell me.
Don, I've just explained to you. You keep using this whole thing about you haven't got your players. You're only missing Nkunku. That's going to make a difference. No one else in your team.
I haven't used injuries as an excuse once. You said you've been missing players.
Don, you've got to listen, bro. You know, in life, let me tell you something. You know, you can't listen at the same time. They don't work.
Well, I've been listening, but a lot of the things that you're saying is just off. It's just off key, bro. I'll be real.
Don. We haven't had our front 6. I just explained to you. None of your front 6 players will get into our front, so they're not clicking how they were last season. I've also explained to you we're playing a different style of football. So our front 6, if we play the way we should and we want to play, we will create more chances than you. We're a better team than you. We have a better defense than your attack. So by your logic, you shouldn't beat us because your attack is blunt against our defense. Our midfield and your midfield, okay, even though it's quite even, I would still say ours is better. We've got 2 very, very good players in there, in Partey and Rice. And then we've got Odegaard, who you said that doesn't step up, but I can give you countless games where he does step up. And then I go to our front line of Jesus, who can pull players out of position, who can score goals now, and he is playing a lot better. He's a lot fitter now. And Martinelli, I don't need to talk on him because you know what he is about. And Saka, he's not even playing amazing, scintillating football, and he's still getting goals and assists. So logic says currently, you can't beat us in the sense of we are a better team. I'm not saying you won't beat us. I'm not saying you have no chance. But what I'm saying to you is if you look at the 2 teams, we will beat you. But what you do, if you're going off all of these things, looking at it from the Chelsea lens and saying, well, you've got this, you've got that, you've got Palmer, you've got Jackson, you've creating chances, this manager's doing this. But you don't have a better team than us. You don't have better players than us. You don't actually play better football than us. You don't do anything better than us. Even though you're going to go off, you're creating more so your stats, or you're creating more chances. The reason why you're creating more chances is because you've had a coherent for your front three, a coherent front three that is doing what it's needed to do, and you're creating chances in that regard. But this Saturday, it wouldn't shock anybody on this channel, or on this panel right now, if we won 2-3-1. It wouldn't shock anybody. It would be more shocking if you won, because we're a better team. We are a better team than you. You make it seem that like it's crazy to think that we're better. We're not better than you.
I never said it's crazy. What I think is crazy is Arsenal fans that are coming on here on streams, right, saying that they're gonna blitz Chelsea and do all of these things.
I haven't said that.
You literally said we should wipe the floor with you. Where is the evidence? Show me the evidence where you're gonna wipe the floor with us. Because talk me through how you're gonna wipe the floor.
I said we should beat you because we're a better team than you. We should beat
no. Beating us is a different. Beating us is a different statement to saying wipe the floor with us. Wipe the floor with us.
I said we should beat you 2 or 3-0. Yes, we should beat you because we're a better team.
Okay, that's fine. But listen,
before you went into the game, you went into the game against Burnley, did you not think you was going to beat them?
Yeah, I did.
What you don't believe is there's a clear divide between your team and our team. We're actually better than you in every department. Every single department, we're better than you. Every department. There's nobody.
And this is exactly why I need Chelsea to turn up and beat these guys, because I'm tired of these Arsenal fans moving like they're prime Barcelona now. Do you get what I'm saying? I know you lot. No, let me no. I've let you land for about 2-3 minutes, bro. Yeah, I've let you talk and I've listened to what you've been saying. Yeah, I respect Arsenal. This is why I've literally been on every stream saying it's gonna be a tough game, right? And like I've said, all over the pitch, yeah, you've got threats and we've got threats as well. As much as you want to undervalue our players or underrate the quality of our players, I believe in the quality of our players right now that we've got. And like I said, the past 3-4 games.
Chelsea fan.
No, it's not because I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm a football fan first, bro. And I'm watching what I'm watching. Bro, you're the same guy that was laughing at me in the summer when I spoke about Cole Palmer, and now you're saying, oh, he should be going to the next Euros. Do you know what I'm saying?
When did I say that? When did I say that?
Never a foul. You said, oh, he should be looked at for England and that. You were saying all of these things.
No, I never in my life have I said that.
You never said that on Never a Foul. So you wasn't big enough Cole Palmer or Never a Foul then, yeah?
No, I've never said he should be going to the next Euros.
Okay. I'll reel up that tape. I'll reel up that tape anyway. But like I was saying, yeah, like I've been saying, we've got players that can ball now. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not coming up against these bums that's like Kai Havertz last year, bums like Mason Mount and that from last year. It's a whole completely different team, bro. And like I said, now that these positive changes have been made, bro, we can definitely.
Okay, but by logic, as I keep saying to you,
if you're just gonna sit here and say, "Oh, okay," so if you're the better team, if you're the best team in the world, why couldn't you beat Tottenham? Why couldn't you beat Tottenham?
One question.
That's your logic. Your logic tells me.
Whoa! You've got to come and play us in a few weeks, and you will see firsthand why they couldn't beat Tottenham. Back to you guys.
What's the point of us having this conversation?
I just want to ask one question. Done.
One at a time, guys. Come on.
How many players do you believe get into this combined 11?
Bro, that's not what I used when it comes to analyzing games.
Okay,
I couldn't give 2 shits about combined 11s, bro. I couldn't give 2 shits about them.
So you're done. The reason why you don't care is because you're proving my point. We have a better team than you.
Bro, you do have a better team, but everyone knows this.
So what the fuck are you talking about then, bro? We should beat you.
I'm analyzing, bro. I'm analyzing the game and how the season's been going and the past few games, right? If you want to ignore how Chelsea have picked up the past few, if you want to ignore how Chelsea have picked up the past few games, so be it. But this is exactly what Arsenal fans were doing before they played Spurs. I was hearing so many wild takes. Oh, we're gonna batter Spurs. Spurs ain't gonna do nothing. And I literally said to all of them, Jay, I don't care, Jay, if you be trying to slander Chelsea, yeah, because I was backing Spurs at the time. I was like, listen, the way you man are talking about, hold on, Jay, yeah, the way you man are talking about Spurs, you clearly haven't been watching it, and that's how I feel about you guys when it comes to.
Let me just can I just say before we move on to the next segment, because I'm sure Jamie's like, come on, boys. Is that my point was that I think that you're going to struggle against their press. Not that your team has no quality, and not that your team cannot cause Chelsea.
This is Arsenal. And that's the thing.
I do think I agree. If everyone plays to the best of their ability, Arsenal should win this game.
That is my point. That is literally my point.
And that to me is Arsenal having the depth. To be fair, though, and this is and I don't want to give Don too much. Arsenal last minutes against United, last minutes against City, deflection and a penalty against Spurs. You look very solid, but is some of the creativity?
We don't concede away from home.
Absolutely, and I'm concurring with you. The solidity, I think everyone on the panel will agree that Arsenal looks solid this season. Declan Rice out of possession has been great for you guys.
What I'm saying now, what I'm saying is that
I think that I'm not sure how good Chelsea are out of possession, but because I don't think they've played that many teams that have made them play out of possession yet this
But
season.
we literally have Pochettino, a manager that you had, right? A manager that you had, and you understand how it comes with how it works when it comes to pressing.
No,
We press off the ball, bro. We
Yeah,
press off the ball.
Yeah,
Well,
but I'll be honest with you. Like,
Right,
we've
what we're
got
going to do
ball
now,
Go
we'll do score predictions, and then
Okay.
we'll move on to the Merseyside derby. So,
I want you to make sure you predict a win, Don, because you keep professing this weird
Right,
thing. Like, so
let's
make sure
get-
you predict it.
I'll go with G.
Say less, bro.
Right, Don, let's go with you first, and we'll work our way around. Don, what's
Yeah.
your score prediction?
I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna back my boys in. I'm gonna say 2-1 Chelsea.
You're back your boy.
Exactly. You're gonna back your boys, of course.
You're
I'm
back
gonna
your
say
boy.
2-1 Chelsea.
Fair enough. G.
1-0 Arsenal.
1-0 Arsenal. Straight in, Lee.
I would say 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1. Jay, the other Arsenal fan.
I'm gonna go with a draw. You know, I'm gonna go with what I want to see. I don't want Chelsea to get the momentum from a big win, and I don't want Arsenal overly to get the momentum from a big win. For both teams, it's a huge result. Whoever wins this game, that's a lot of. So I'm gonna go with the draw. I'll go with.
We need it.
I'll go with 1-1.
Yeah, that's. I'm going with a draw as well. And the only reason I'm going for a draw is because of the international break. I think there might be some weird results this weekend. So yeah, I'm going because of the international break. So I'm going for a draw. I think the international break probably came at the wrong time for Chelsea, maybe because they were starting to just kick on a little bit with a few good results, and maybe if they, So with that international break, I'm going for a 1-1 as well. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal still won because they are, probably the best team in the league at the moment, in my opinion. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went on a 1, but a draw is fair for me. And it benefits my team as well because that's what we're going to talk about now. So G, it's the Merseyside derby. It's the Merseyside derby this weekend. The other big game of this weekend. It's the early kickoff, as we know. Any 12:30 kickoff, just Liverpool now versus whoever. It's the way the Premier League on it. How you seen this game, man? So we know Robbo's now out for 10 weeks with that dislocated shoulder, but he don't know if he needs surgery. He's going to be out for even longer, apparently. So we don't know how long Robbo's going to be out for. For me, I'm not too bothered, to be fair, because he's been dog shit for 12 months, so don't really care. How do you see this match coming? I think international break, you have to take a little bit into it because I think that's all teams this weekend with the international break. I don't think every team's going to be firing at 100%. It's a Merseyside derby. Everton have won, 2 out of their last 3 games, but somehow lost to Luton at home.
Yeah.
How are you seeing this game, G? How are you seeing it?
Everton are so shit, man. Honestly, they're actually just so shit. Like, they need to get relegated. But I think when it comes to this type of game, you got to remember, man, Liverpool come into the back of this game off 2 bad results, if I'm being honest with you. You picked up 1 point off their last 2 games. Defeat to Spurs and the draw against Brighton. So we're not coming into this with form. But obviously, we've had this international break. I think we wiped the floor with something like Everton. Like, anything other than... And I do use this term, properly in terms of we should be wiping the floor with a team like Everton. That they are genuinely one of the poorest teams I've seen in the Premier League for a long time. And I just think that this shouldn't be something that we should be necessarily worrying about. At like 12:30 kickoff, I know the hoodoo and all that kind of stuff, in previous last season especially. But when we're looking at a game like this, for me, it almost feels like. Yeah, I'll be real. It goes back to what everyone's been talking about with this Arsenal. Jay just mentioned there about just at the end there talking about the win with the Arsenal Chelsea game. It would be quite monumental. For one of the 2 teams. For me, I don't actually think so. I actually think I look at that the same way I look at this, which is if Arsenal were to win that game, I don't look at that as. If they're a serious team, that won't be monumentous. That will just be all right, we've got 3 points at the bridge, we move and we go, because top teams will do that. Whereas Chelsea would look at that as because of where they're at. But obviously that's just because of where they're at as 2 teams right now, if we're talking today's date. Same thing I'd look at with the Liverpool game. Yes, it's a derby, and yes, fans, older fans and stuff like that, and some of the younger generation, yeah, they might look at it like that, but I'll be real, this is a game where Liverpool, you come in, you get your 3 points, we bounce. That is it. Like, I don't even want to talk about this game after Saturday evening. Like, we literally move on to the next game, because this isn't where we're looking at these type of games and thinking, yeah, we really need to make sure we get a victory. This should be, without being arrogant for any of the teams, without being arrogant, this should just be we get the 3 points, we do our professional job, and we go home kind of thing. And then, of course, no one's winning the league now anyway. So whether you win, lose, or draw today, it makes zero difference towards the end of the season. But these are the type of games that certain people might overhype. And for me, I always feel like, nah, don't overhype these kind of games. Not, first of all, not right now, but secondly, not at, not this early on, in the season, man. Get your 3 points, you go home, job done. Everyone moves on to their next game, and then we live to fight another day, kind of thing. And I think that's exactly what will happen at the weekend. Honestly, if Liverpool even think about conceding and drawing the game, yeah, all hell will start to break loose, man.
Yeah, I'm like that. I look at this game. Look, Liverpool's next 4 games, we got 3 of them at home in the Premier League. So we got Everton on Saturday, then we're at home to Nottingham Forest, then we're away to Luton, then we're at home to Brentford. So there should be 4 W's in my opinion. Don, as a neutral, what do you think, my man?
Yeah, I think this is an easy win, man. Easy win for Liverpool. I saw Everton, I saw their XG, like where they should be in terms of their XG. But when I watched them, bro, like they're just, they're crap. You should walk all over them, man. Where is this, at Anfield?
To Anfield.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy win, man. Is it early kickoff as well, isn't it?
12:30.
12:30. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be with Romsey, driving back to London.
Any 12:30 game would be Liverpool. That's the way it is now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, you lot should win that game comfortably, man. I look at Everton. The only threat really up top is that new guy they've got. What's his name? Is it Beto?
Yeah.
He actually looks all right.
He looks all right.
Yeah, he looks all right.
It looks all right, to be fair. But overall, Everton, man, I think it's a long time coming, man. They're probably relegation candidates, in my opinion. So I think it should be just a easy win for you lot, man.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Lee, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Listen, I can't disagree anything with what G said. Everything he said is correct. I think you should be absolutely beating them quite comfortably. I think there's no comparison between the two. I think Salah is absolutely on form. I think, I don't see why you shouldn't beat them. Everton are absolute dross. We played them a couple of weeks ago, and they were absolutely... Everton need to go down for their own club's sake. To really reset, they need to go down. I know it sounds stupid, but the longer they stay in the league, I think they're doing more harm to themselves. I think they really need to have an eye opener, and they need to actually, if Everton don't leave Anfield with at least 3 goals in their back pocket gone by them, 4-0, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that needs to be Liverpool's target. 4-0, 3-0 for sure.
Yeah, same. I don't know. Jay there? Are you there, Jay? You might just pop that.
I'm just plugging in. You know what? I don't know. I think obviously Liverpool will have too much for Everton, but Everton are all right. They're a decent team. Like I really like Calvert-Lewin. I've always liked Calvert-Lewin, and he's actually fit at the moment. Touch wood, all right, but like he's fit and he's scoring. I think he scored in the last 3, maybe. I think Everton are playing better than they have been playing. I think Dyche is obviously a good coach. They're not a bad little team. Like, it's not going to be... I'm not sure it'll be a walk in the park. I think that Robertson injury, it impacts the balance of the team, whether people like it or not. I know you can argue that he's not been playing well. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just think that this is like Keegan. They're not a decent team. They are a decent team. I know they lost to Luton, which is ridiculous, but they're actually a decent team from what I've seen. But I think Liverpool should have too much for them. But maybe like a 3-1 or something. Maybe Everton might hold out. But I think Liverpool just have so much firepower now. They've got like 5, 6 options that they can bring on or rotate in and out the team. So I think Victor thinks it'll be 7-0. But
I
yeah,
think
I think
Victor's
I'll go
happy.
3-1.
Jesus Christ.
Right, we'll just get score predictions because I know G and Don have got to go. So, score predictions, Don?
3-0 Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool. I'll take that every day of the week. G?
3-1. They will score.
Of course they will.
We
Lee?
always concede.
There's absolutely no chance Liverpool score. I'm sorry, Everton score, by the way. Like, genuinely no chance. They are so bad. So I'm going to go.
Bro, we've kept one clean sheet this whole season in the Premier
That's what I was
League.
gonna say. Like, as in Liverpool
Well,
don't keep.
this is going to be your second. I can tell you that much. I can tell you that much.
You're missing Robertson now, though, isn't it? As well, that's one thing.
Yeah,
I don't think that's as big as a deal as everyone thinks.
He's not that great, but he's he can do something. But no, I think I'm gonna go 3-0. Go 3-0. You ain't conceding for sure.
Jay?
3-0, yeah.
3-1.
3-1. Sweet. Don, G, I know you got to run. Appreciate you both coming on. Come back
Love
soon.
for
Yeah.
love, man. Bless.
Appreciate it, man.
Lee,
Appreciate
are you at the bridge on Saturday?
No, I'm not there. I didn't even. I got COVID, bro. So I'm not even really leaving my
Oh shit!
yard, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say link up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say link up because I'm there. But
Oh,
see,
is it at the bridge?
Yeah, it's at the bridge.
Yeah, you'll catch me in Fulham, man.
Cool. Say less. In a
Say
bit.
no more.
Love,
it,
love.
guys.
Big up, everyone.
Right. All right, let's talk about Man City Brighton. So, Man City, they lost their last 3 domestic games in a row, I believe, with no Rodri. Played the Champions League game with Rodri and won. Man City, I've been saying, I don't know if Man City are weaker, stronger, I don't know. But because the way Man City just keep going with Pep Guardiola, it's hard to tell. But Rodri is definitely their most important player, no matter who. I've said this for a while now. I think Kevin De Bruyne is more of a miss to players in Man City's team than he is to the whole team. But I think Rodri is a bigger miss to the whole team in comparison. What do you reckon, Lee?
Do you know what, right? So, at the start of the season, everyone was doing their predictions, who's going to win the league, etc. I said, look, I think Arsenal are going to win it because I've never seen a team win 4 league titles in a row. That was just my bare logic. And listen, I'm not saying that it's showing to be true now, but I don't know if you saw, there was something with Jack Grealish when he was in the England cap. He said it was about like the motivation wasn't there as well for him a bit in the seats throughout this season so far and stuff. So I don't know. With Man City, there is something missing. And listen, they're never going to be as good as they were last season. And it doesn't mean they're crap. It just means they're not the same. And even if they're 5% worse than they were last season, they're 5% worse. They're not as good as they were last season. So, yeah, listen, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say they've fallen off because that is way too much. Like, that is way too much to say. But, it's funny that Drifty, shout out to Drifty, he said a comment last season and he said he prefers Nunes over Haaland. And the reason why he said it is because of the link up and what he does in the game and how he contributes and stuff like that. And I never really felt like that until the end of last season. And now I'm seeing it a little bit more this season where, he doesn't really get involved and contribute in games as much, etc., etc. So I don't know, like it's a weird one, but I don't think they're going to win the league. I'm not saying Arsenal are going to win it, but I just don't see them winning the league. I'll be honest with you. I really do look at Man City and I just feel they're missing something. And even when De Bruyne comes back, I just don't see it. I know everyone keeps saying they've done it over and over again and their players come back, but it doesn't, every season isn't the same. What happened last season or what happened 2 years ago doesn't happen now. So it's not that it's a given that just because De Bruyne comes back that it wins. There's a better chance, but it's not a given. It's not a given that Haaland's going to score 56 goals in the season. There's a chance, but it's not a given. So for me, look, I'm never going to count out Man City, but I'm very certain Man City aren't winning the league. I really don't think they will, and I think it'll be someone else. And I think it'll be Arsenal, but it could be Liverpool. It really could.
I do agree with that statement you made there. I look at City and think, did they actually have a good summer transfer window? Because I look at it and think the players they've let go the last 2 years, have they really improved that much. Alvarez was always a guy coming to City. They did that the year before, so that deal was always coming. Haaland, I know, but I look at someone like Gundogan missing in this City team. I don't think City would have lost 3 in a row domestically if they had Gundogan available, because he would have just taken Rodri's place with his professionalism, and he's a tremendous footballer. So underrated. I don't think they would have lost that 3 in a row. So, and I look at Arsenal's transfer window, and I said it, I think Arsenal did have a better transfer window than Man City, because I think Arsenal, what they did in the summer, got closer to City. City didn't pull away with their window, if that makes sense. City didn't go have a transfer window where I look at it and think, well, they're pulled away now, even further. I look at Kovacic coming in, I'm thinking, pretty injury prone at Chelsea. Is he City quality? Has he got the pace to be a City midfielder? I look at Nunes coming from Wolves, who I think is a technically good footballer, but I think he's a couple of years ready for City yet. Calvin Phillips is such a downgrade on Rodri. It's unbelievable. Grealish, I'm not still a massive Grealish fan. I don't think he's tremendous. What do you think, Jay?
So with the City squad, I think there's a good argument to be made. They've lost 3, very good / world-class players in like Gundogan, Laporte, obviously Mahrez as well. And I think you have the law of depreciating returns. There's only so long you can keep losing players, and then it's almost like a different scale. Like if you're a Southampton, when Southampton had their model, eventually you run out of the Manes, you run out of the Schneiderlins, you run out of the Wanyamas, and you start, So with City, I think you're looking at players like Nunes, and you can make an argument that maybe someone like Paqueta was the first choice. And because of what's going on with him, they had to swivel to Nunes. And Nunes was probably quite low down. You could argue they might have wanted Eze, but what Crystal Palace would have asked for would have been too expensive. So I think from my point of view, the way I look at it is that what they've done is, I think they've done a mix between business they had to do and business they needed to do. And it is what it is. Always dangerous to judge Pep signings this early on. You should give yourself some wiggle room with regards to that. So personally,
I do think their signings have been good, but I feel like you just have to take it for what it is. Have their signings been as good as what their previous players they let go? No. Doku looks good, but I mean, Mahrez was getting 25 GA. Is Doku going to do that? I don't know. You look at the Nunes guy. I think he's a very good player, but is he that games winner? Like Gundogan? No. The David, what's his name? De Bruyne, sorry.
Yeah.
They haven't actually got anybody to replace him as of yet. But Foden, has he stepped up? No. So look, I'm never going to sit here and say,
I think Foden's had some good games though. He's played.
No,
he's had some good games.
but what I'm saying is, this is his team now. He should be, bang, this is my team. I'm putting my imprint in there. I'm putting my foot down and saying, look, I'm going to grab games by the scruff of the neck. And he hasn't done that. He's had games where he looks okay, but you need to now be 23 years old, putting your stamp in this team, because every single year there's been comparisons, Saka, Foden. And why people give Saka the ratings is because he's carried this team since he was 17 years old, and he's pulled us out of the mud, being one of the reasons why. With Foden, he's been a cog in this machine that is Man City, and he's been a bit of a bit part player. He's had his moments, but we need to see more from him, and he's not really pushing to the levels of where he should. So for me, look, like, I'm not sitting here saying that any of their players are rubbish. I don't even think Calvin Phillips is rubbish. He's not great, but he's not rubbish. But my point is that, do I think they've got enough to win the league? No, but they're Man City fans. You can't argue with them because they win all the time. You can't argue because Pep wins all the time. So listen, they're going to keep going off what they've done before, but I genuinely don't think they're going to win the league right now, and that's just my opinion.
No, I said Arsenal at the beginning of the year. I don't think I changed my mind yet. Brighton, though, I think Brighton are away.
They are away, yeah.
Yeah, they're away at City. When I watch Brighton this season, I always feel like they're better away from home. I always feel like they're a good away from home team. Jay, what do you think of Brighton and De Zerbi, the job he's done? You know, a lot of people calling De Zerbi maybe the next City manager after Pep. Is he getting a little bit overrated at the moment, overblown, or is he getting deserved his credit?
I think De Zerbi's done a lot of good. I think it's interesting to see that the side is now starting to resemble his side a little bit, how it looked in Italy. I have a theory. So my theory is that when you bring a new manager in, and he's like a whatever kind of manager, when the previous coach has a really defined style, the two styles will blend together to start off with. And then you get a perfect mix of both styles. A good example of this would be Everton when they got Martinez. So they had Moyes, brought in Martinez. That first season, when those styles meshed together, it was great for Everton. Do you see what I mean? So the way I look at it is that he's a very good manager and he came into a good foundation. His is the style of play where it's like, wow, if you increase the quality of player in the team, like how far could it go? I think they're missing Saicedo and McAllister, you know, and if he was at a bigger club, you probably don't lose 2 or 3 of your best players every season. Do you know what I mean? So it's a difficult one to gauge because, you know, the team's gone back and I'm not sure of the quality versus what they had last season. But, you know, in terms of the new style of football, how you want to be playing football, he's, you know, a very, very good pattern-driven manager. You know, I think you've got Pep, you've got Ange, and you've got De Zerbi, and you probably say they're the main 3 in terms of like patterns and that. Liverpool play a slightly different style of play, but still obviously very offensive. But even Liverpool have adapted. So, you know, with someone like De Zerbi, you're getting somebody who's like, I'd say like a bit of a visionary. You know, he knows how his teams are meant to set up. He knows how he sees the game and what he wants to see. So, big game for them. You know, I'm not sure they've got enough defensive quality to hold out City. Estupinian's injured. Big loss. Big loss. Big loss for them. So with Estupinian out, you know, I've not been convinced by their defending. You know, what did they hold at Aston Villa again? Was it 6?
Yeah.
6, 3 at home to West Ham. You know, I think that this weekend's as good a day as any for City to get their title bus back on the road. So yeah, I think City might look to make an example of them potentially.
It's going to be a close game, I think. Before we get the predictions, I've just got to big up Mo Salah. I just see his video on Twitter, man. Big up Mo Salah there. You know, world leaders should actually listen to the man. Score predictions, guys. For Man City Brighton. This could be a weird game. This could be like a Villa Brighton game, or it could be Brighton where they're just that annoyingly good Brighton side that you just can't get rid of, and they end up getting a point. What are we saying?
Nah, I'm gonna say, I'll say 2-0 City. I think 2-0 City. City are gonna with Rodri back. I think they're such a different proposition. I think their defense is a very good defense. I just think I think Pep needs to just sort out the midfield a little bit. You know, maybe move 1 or 2 players around. But I'll go 2-0.
Jay?
I'll go 3-1. I don't know if is Evan Ferguson back. I don't know if he's back.
I'm not sure actually.
He played midweek for Ireland. So yeah, it should be.
Yes. Okay. That could be interesting. Yeah. No. Let's go 3-1. I think.
3-1.
Yeah. I think they need to. They need to
Right.
get their ship back in order.
Right, let's go to the last team of the weekend. Yeah, Monday night football. It is Spurs Fulham, I believe. Have I got that right? Yeah, Spurs. Fulham. Jay, talk to me about your club. They're doing well at the moment. And boys, everyone keeps talking about Maddison arguably been signing the season so far. Got Son taking Kane's spot without no issue. You got a great first 11, in my opinion. I think Spurs do have a very good first 11. You're playing once a week.
Yeah.
How's you feeling, man?
I feel good. I think one of the things is that like expectation is a mother. So you get into a certain spot and it's like right now, it's important to like sort of critically assess it. I think we've done really well. I think we've almost, for me, I always knew the first 4 months of the season I thought would be very difficult for us because the players are adapting to a different style. They're trying to take on board what they're trying to learn and stuff. And the players have done amazingly to basically do this to the quality that they've done it. But then obviously there's issues, there is issues still with the team in terms of where we're trying to get to. So for me, some of the bigger issues are we are quite open still. Like we're quite open as a team. You can get to our centre backs a little bit too easy for my liking. That's what happens when you don't have a natural six, and people will be like, "Oh, Bazuma." I'm like, Bazuma's not a six in the way that Rice is a six. Like he's not a Fabinho six. I sniff danger. Like being a six is a second nature to him. And himself in the way he plays and stuff. He is obviously. I'm not saying he's a reactionary six, but I rate him all the same. It's just in these instances, the high turnovers, things like that. You've got to look at it almost like look at Brighton, for example. Yeah. So if you look at how many goals Brighton have given up and stylistically what Brighton try and do, when they try and bait you to come and press them, like that's their main way of playing. Bait you to press them or transition. Now, to me, it's like if you stop Brighton playing in those two ways, you beat them. Yeah. So what we're showing is we've got more ways to beat a team than a Brighton does. And potentially we've got better players. But it's a long way to go, and it's one of those where, to get back in the Champions League, I think I was looking at it. Spurs have how many points do we have? I can't remember how many. I think is it
22.
20.
Yeah,
20.
right.
We got 20. We got 20 points, right? So 30 games to go. So let's say 50. Well, let's say 72 gets you Champions League or so. So obviously that would be let's say 15 wins would be 48, 16 wins would be 51. So 16 wins out of 30. Yeah. Let's one more. 17 wins out of 30. Yeah. We'll get us Champions League from this point.
Yeah, and you're playing once a week as well, so you got to feel like
exactly.
That.
So that's
possible.
That's the main target. So, and if we don't from this point get 17 wins from 30, basically we need to win at a slightly better than 50% rate. I'll be disappointed from this stage. So
yeah, you got a great start.
Yeah, I don't see us being title challengers or anything that yet. But if we win the next 3 games, I might start talking a bit spicier. But at this moment in time, it's still very early in the season.
It definitely is. Lee, I know it's Tottenham. I need you to be. So, what do you feel, man? So, Tottenham, they got Fulham on Monday. Then they're away to Crystal Palace. Then they're at home to Chelsea, and they're away to Wolves in their next 4 games. So, fixtures are pretty kind to them. What are you feeling, man?
I'll be real. Listen, I've said this and I'll keep saying it. I'm not really a believer in Spurs. I think their season's a little bit overhyped. Arsenal last season, every single week, everybody kept saying the same thing to me. After 19 games, when we beat Wolves just before the World Cup started, when we came back, everyone kept saying the same thing to me. So I'm not really that moved by Spurs, and we were playing better football than they were this season. We were scoring goals. We just looked like a very, very good team. So listen, Spurs, they've done well, but it's 8 games. I don't know if they're going to get top 4 still. I still believe in Newcastle. I still think, listen, the top 3, we know that's banked. I think it's between, is my connection. Is it back?
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, listen. I just think that ultimately Spurs have a good team. I said before the season started that I thought they was going to have a good season. I said they'll finish fifth, and I still think they'll finish fifth. And I'm sure fifth gets you Champions League. So if you're looking to get into the Champions League and that's the aim for you, good. But I don't think you're gonna have the successful season that you are having currently. It's 8 games. I do think why Spurs are going to be helped though is because the bottom 6 or 7 teams are absolute dog crap.
Oh,
You've got
terrible.
the
Terrible.
3 teams that got promoted: Everton,
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You've got Crystal Palace on their day can be a bit funny. Fulham look really off this season as well. So, listen, there are a few teams that you should be getting double points for a top team. But yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you. Look, Spurs, I think you've had a good season. Well, you've had a great season so far, but it's 8 games, and you know what? Fair play to most Spurs fans because no one's really saying that they're going to win the league. And that's that's what I'll give credit to Spurs fans for, because no one's going crazy. No one's going crazy saying you're going to win the league. Your objective is Champions League, and I think they're being fair with that Champions League. So
Yeah,
they're not going to win a cup. They're not going to win the FA Cup. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win any cups. You're not going to win anything. It's not going to happen. But to get Champions League is good for them because ultimately it gets them into a position where they can spend more money. And then what they can do is they can turn on the owner if he doesn't spend the money, because the manager's done it on a low with not spending lots of money. And you deserve to have £200 million spent on you in the summer because of that. So yeah, I'll give him credit with that. But as I said, I ain't going crazy, man. I'm not going to go crazy on anything else.
Fair enough. I just sort of see we just looked at Spurs' next 4 games. They're quite winnable games of Spurs. Liverpool's next 4 games are quite winnable. I didn't realise this, but Man City's next 4 games are Brighton, the Manchester Derby, Bournemouth, and Chelsea.
Did you see their games after? Did you see their games after the international break? Though I think it gets worse.
And then when's the next international?
I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you...
When is the next?
No, after the international. So those 4 games are the international. So what are the ones after that?
They got City, got Liverpool.
Yeah, see,
Tottenham,
see,
Villa.
See, that's not easy. After the international, yeah.
Oi! Now Spurs are starting a bit of a tough run because we'll have like 1, 2, 3. So we'll have.
No, are you talking about after the international breaks? Though I'm talking about after the international break.
Yeah, no, we've got
Fulham,
Palace, Chelsea. Fulham, Palace, Chelsea, Wolves. They're our next 4.
No, okay. And then after that one, after that one, because there's another international break.
Then we've got Villa, Man City, West Ham, Newcastle.
Okay, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's where we're gonna.
Yeah, so you've got the hard one. And
Jesus,
so Man City have they've got who did they?
Man City got a difficult fixture list coming up. So they got Brighton, United Derby, the Manchester Derby, sorry. Then they're at home to Bournemouth, which is a win. Then they're away to Chelsea. Then they're at home to Liverpool. Then they're at home to Tottenham. And then they're away to Villa.
So those last 3-4 games you just said are after the international. Yeah, see, that kind of next stretch is where so we've got our next 4 games we've got obviously we've got Chelsea away, we've got Sheffield United at home, we've got Newcastle away, and then we've got one more easy home game. And then I think after the internationals it's not too difficult. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting because
you're going to be looking at it.
It's going to be interesting.
I mean, we could have a point if City drop point, because we're only a point behind City. So if City drop points in their next 4 games, and we got this pretty decent next 4 games coming up, by the time we play them after the international game, we could be in front of them.
Yeah. Listen,
it's going to be a tight league this year. I do think it's going to be extremely tight. I don't think it's going to be a very high point tally this year.
Listen, Jamie. What you're saying, people think that I'm crazy. People probably think you're crazy, but I don't see this being 95, 93. No. I don't. I feel
take points off each other constantly
because the top 6, 7 teams, you can go away and conceivably lose to West Ham. You can go away and lose to Newcastle. You can go away to Spurs now and lose. Whereas last season, they were getting beat up by everybody. Everything was happening to them. So I just think this season the top 6-7 teams are very decent, whereas the bottom 7-8 teams are horrible. So it's almost like if you drop points against some of those bottom feeders, like Fulham's, which we did, it hurts because we've now dropped 2 points we really shouldn't have lost against. Like if Spurs have dropped points against Luton, I mean, it would have been bad.
Yeah, I mean, that I can't believe Everton lost at home to Luton. That should be a
This is my point. They need to go down. Like it's not a joke now. They fully. I need Burnley to step up because Everton or Bournemouth are the team to go down. But Everton really need to go down. It's not even that I hatred thing. I just genuinely think they've been living on the edge for so long, and again it goes back to my wider point. If you concede a goal against Everton, I can't take you serious. I'm sorry, because Everton are absolute dog crap. We played them, mate. I'm being serious. They're so bad.
You spanked them 1-0. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
spanked them 1-0.
Literally, like, it was so bad. Like they didn't do anything. Like it was just. I'm literally sitting there and I'm like, your fans are like one of the most crazy rowdy fans, and you're just sitting back. You're not attacking. You're not doing anything, and like it's not even like the team that we had last season where we were just pulverize teams. So for me, yeah, Everton, they're in big trouble. I think Everton need to go down. They've had their time now. I'm sick of them like every season not spending money.
I couldn't agree more. Let's do score predictions on Spurs Fulham. I think Spurs win this. It's going to be interesting because there's no Basuma for this game, is there?
Yeah, no.
Son might be out as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Son might be out.
Son's okay.
Basuma's
suspended.
Yeah. So, I look, Fulham are a good team. I think if this was away from home, it'd be a bit more tricky. But being at home, I think Spurs will get the job done 2-1. That's what I'm going with.
I'm gonna go 2-0. Fulham haven't really. Funnily enough, they beat us in the cup, but it was quite a rotated team. For Spurs, it was like 10 changes. So I think we'll perform much better in this. So
fair enough, Lee.
I'm gonna say 1-1.
It's so hard to believe to say it's not a win.
No, I'll be honest. I know it sounds like I'm hating and whatnot. I just don't believe in Spurs. I really don't think they're the team that people are making out to be. But I could be looking like a fool by the end of it. But I think, I just don't think they're that good, to be honest.
Last thing before we go, do you think there'll be one strange result this weekend because of the international break? There'll be an upset somewhere or a weird result you didn't see coming?
I think the weird result would be Chelsea winning, I think, for this weekend.
That'd be the weird one, Chelsea winning. I mean, that's a fair one. Jay, do you see a strange result this weekend because of the international break?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Who've United got?
Oh, that's a point. We never spoke of United because they've
got Sheffield United, man.
Man United got Sheffield United, and Man United are such a laughing stock now. I just need to.
Like Sheffield United, like obviously they're not like that one. I'll keep an eye on that one. Like United they need a win, and obviously they're obviously much better than Sheffield United, but it's just United are just very capable of just pulling a crazy result out of their ass.
No, Man United ain't easy, man.
They're just
I think just when you look at it. The problem that Sheffield United are that they're just not good. They're just not a good team. Like they have nothing going forward. They have nothing going. Like they
crushed them up.
Newcastle are better than Man United. So like I just think Man United have individual pieces of quality. They've got Rashford. They've got Rasmus Højlund. They've got Bruno.
This game, I think.
No, he scored the other day. He scored in international.
Yeah, someone said he came off injured or something. I don't know if that's true.
I think he got like a bad tackle, but he should be all right. Yeah, I think even like their defenders, I'm sure like defenders they can score against Sheffield. They're so bad. Yeah. They're so bad. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that Man United are a great team, but I'm also not going to sit here and say anything crazy like they should.
Would we be shocked if like Sheffield United got a point though?
Yeah, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Sheffield United are so like
Oh,
they're so
they're
bad.
I think they're
So-
probably them and Luton are the worst two teams.
It's funny because they played all right against us. I was like,
Well,
that's funny.
No, but the thing is, I'm sure I saw the stats, and I was chatting to Tobes, and he was saying, like, I mean, you had like 26 shots.
Yeah,
you hit
it was
the
just
ball, hit the post.
yeah,
it just
just
didn't
it
go
was
in.
a dirty
didn't
low
go in.
block. And they've not played. The difference is that they played a dirty low block against us, but like they've tried to play against other teams and they've been getting battered. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. No, I listen, listen. Whatever I say about Spurs, you deserve to win that game. Like it was just weird that it happened at the moment it happened. If I'm looking at Man United, they beat Burnley away from home, and Burnley are definitely a better team than Sheffield United. So if I'm going off that, I'm like, yeah, no, for sure. Man United will win that game. Like, listen, I know that it doesn't look good on paper because Man United just look dodgy against. I think what was it Brentford they played last game.
Mhm.
But like Sheffield United lost against Fulham, they've lost against West Ham, they've lost against Newcastle, they've lost against Spurs, they drew against Everton. I mean, that's their level, man. Like they're bad. They're just bad, man. They're really bad.
Yeah, man. These three promoted teams might be the worst three promoted teams that ever come up.
Ever. Like I'm talking about ever. Literally.
Luton went up too quickly through the leagues, and I think it's just going to smack them in the face. Sheffield United are terrible, and Burnley. I think Burnley could be better if Vinny Company just changed the way they played a little bit.
can he?
But again, they ain't got the players though.
But
By the way, when Spurs
play,
played Sheffield United, you had 28 shots, 10 on target.
Yeah, just putting the ball in the net, wasn't it? That was all. But yeah, it's going to be a good weekend. Look, Premier League's back. This international break has been dire. It's over. Did anyone watch an England game?
No, I mean I don't support England, so I watched the Scotland
or any
game.
international games. Anyone watch any?
I watched the England game, and I had the Dutch game on in the background just the other day as well.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to watch international football unless it's a World Cup or a Euros.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
I did see the goals. But no, I don't watch England at all.
No.
I watched the Scotland against Spain.
Scotland gave France a little shock for about 2
France.
small
Apologies about Spain. Yeah,
Yeah,
France,
again.
which was that was a half decent game. Yeah, they went 1-0 up, but apart from that, I'm not really one to watch international football. To be
Same man. Club football all the way and every day of the week.
100%.
Right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. I really do
welcome.
appreciate it as always, guys. I'll be putting everything in the description at the end of the video. Go and make sure you follow these guys, check them out, and show your love to everyone that's been on the panel today. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow night with more in-depth Liverpool Everton preview. So, and looking back at Jurgen Klopp's press conference. And so, big up to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night. God bless.